Good morning, honorable judges. Automation is the implementation of technologies, computer programs, robots, or any other processes to create a product with minimum human input. That is the definition of automation. And by using some facts on the field, the process of automation can bring tons of negative impacts on our society. And this time, I'll be showing that the implementation of imposing taxes on manufacturing corporations that automate majority of their workforce can increase social welfare as a whole. In this recent economy, having a job is a very difficult thing to do, as in fact, the human population have grew up in size into 8 billion of people in total. And with this enormously large number, it has been proven multiple times that unemployment is an issue we have to deal with. In the era of globalization and digitalization, the use of robots, artificial intelligence, and other forms of thinking machines are becoming more and more common. In one's perspective, it may increase the production efficiency of the related corporations. But this act is selfish, arrogant, and can bring a tremendous impact of the people's welfare. In microeconomics theory, we know that the production function is made up of a well-known formula, whereas the production equals to K and L. This is the formula of production input, where the K variable stands for capital and L stands for labor. Any manufacturing corporation can use a different combination of labor, which means human employees, and capital, that means the use of things, such as robots. If the related corporations depends heavily on the K variable, this will reduce the L variable, which means the need of hiring humans as workers will be decreasing in a concerning rate. Ultimately, this condition will lead to a direct impact on unemployment levels. That is something that we need to worry about. Unemployment is an economic condition where the related person does not have a job that can support and provide the needs to live. If the unemployment rates become too high, that means a lot of people's purchasing power will fall, and thus making them more vulnerable to poverty. Cases like poverty, unemployment, and economic crisis are crucial problems that government needs to look at. These are crucial problems that government needs to solve. The socio-economic inequality of our society have become so high, and by automating the majority of our workforce will just make it even worse. Now, if we're looking into some theoretical fields, there is something that we call the Lorenz curve and Gini coefficient. These two are economic tools that can show the distribution of wealth among our society. Before this, we know that the process of excessive automation can generate unemployment. But at the same time, the people who owns the means of production, or the people up on the corporate ladder, will generate more income than ever before. All because now they can cut the number of total workers and wages that should have been paid to them. By replacing real human workers with robots, they're just creating the gap between the rich and the poor even more further. Now, if we're looking at the Gini coefficient, the closer it gets to 1, the larger the wealth gap among the people. And if we're looking at the Lorenz curve, it will become even more curvature, and it will show that the distribution of wealth are so ridiculously far away. This will prove the famous words of the rich gets richer and the poor stays poor are becoming very, very real. This is the moment when our government needs to step in. They have the authority to those corporations who don't give a single care about the lives of a human being. Our government can use the instrument of tax as a way to solve this problem. By heavily imposing tax on corporations that automate the majority of their workplace, it can force them to not using things like robots, like AI excessively. And generally speaking, if we're looking at the perspective of the government, tax is the main source of income for them. By implementing this idea, taxing on excessive automation can be a new source of income that, if allocated efficiently, can increase the overall of the state's welfare. And in conclusion, the funds that will come from this sector can be used as public management budgets that can be put on education, healthcare, infrastructures, and many, many more. Tax, if implemented correctly, can be an efficient way to cancel the negative externalities caused by those companies. The process of excessive automation can result in higher unemployment rates. It can result into higher poverty levels, and it can lower the nation's welfare as a whole, especially in economic sectors. That is why I believe that automation can bring negative impacts on our society. And I believe that by imposing heavy taxes on those manufacturing companies, we can increase our people's welfare as a whole. That is from me. Thank you and have a good day.